Welcome back. We are in full swing summer, so it's time to make something tall and cool and refreshing and of course ketogenic. So today we are going to be visiting the Isle of Greece and Cyprus, and we're going to be making a traditional Greek frappe. So come along with me and let's get started making this refreshing beverage. So the Greek Frappe got its origins in 1957 at an international trade fair, and it was in the village of Thessaloniki, and Nestle had come there, and they make Nescafe, and they had come there and they were sampling a children's drink that was kind of similar to hot chocolate, but it was cold. Well, one of the workers there was really wanting his usual coffee break, and that required hot water and instant coffee. Well, he didn't have access to that, so he decided to go ahead and use cold water and the Nescafe instant coffee. And for the children, they'd been shaking up this chocolate flavored beverage, so that's what he did with the coffee, and that's how he ended up discovering the Greek Frappe. Now, if you go to Greece any time of year, basically that's what everyone is drinking. In fact, most Greek households have devices that help the frothing process, but we're going to be showing you today how you can do it by hand, so it's very easy. But it is pretty essential to use Nescafe coffee. I have tried it with other brands, but you don't get quite the emulsion that you do with the actual Nescafe brand. So they make it in regular, and they also make it in decaf, and it's just sold with the rest of the instant coffees. And I do have some from an international grocer that is actually from the Isle of Greece. And it tastes very similar to the Americanized Nescafe. It might be just a touch stronger, but other than that, they're very similar. So I would definitely recommend using the Nescafe. It's fairly standard, and almost every grocery store carries it, so you shouldn't have any trouble finding it. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways to make this. So we are going to start out, we want a tall glass, and I believe mine is 20 ounces. You probably don't need it quite this tall, but this is a good size. And we also need our coffee, of course. And then we are also going to need some water, and I've got purified water here. And the theory is the better the water, the better the coffee. So if you can use fairly pure water, that's the best idea. If you can avoid tap water, that would be great. And mine is cold, and cold water is the best idea if you have cold water. Or you can just use cold bottled water if you have bottled water. So in order to start our process, I'm going to show you two different ways. Like I said, most Greek households will have some type of aerator system, like a whisk device, almost like on a milkshake thing, and that's what they use. I found an aerator on Amazon, and it was under $6. And actually, I think this one is marketed for matcha tea, but it works really well for what we're going to be showing. But you do not have to have one of these. All you need is some kind of lidded container. You can use a mason jar with a lid, which is what I'm going to be using tonight. You can use a martini shaker. That's also popular on the Isle of Greece. So any of those will do. You're basically just going to get the aeration into the coffee with the water, and you'll see when I demonstrate it for you. So to begin, I'm going to start with the mason jar because almost everyone has some kind of lidded container. So I'm going to start with that, and in there, I'm going to use decaf because CJ is going to be sampling it, and it is currently almost 8 o'clock at night, and I don't want him out chasing cars. So we're going to use decaf, and I am going to put 2 teaspoons, and that's teaspoons, so just your regular teaspoon, not tablespoons, just 2 teaspoons into the bottom of our mason jar. And then to that, I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of water. So just basically enough to cover the bottom of your jar. So just basically cover the coffee with our cold water. About so. And then I'm going to put the lid back on and shake. And it is the actual shaking process or the aerating process that provides the foam or the frappe on the frappe. So actually it was the Greeks that started the whole frappe idea and not Starbucks. takes probably about 50 shakes, I'm thinking. So not a lot, but you just want to make sure that you're getting all your coffee off the bottom of the jar. And as I open the lid, you'll be able to see what has happened. You've got a nice coffee foam, almost like a root beer float. So, and then we are going to pour it into our glass, our large glass, and you'll be able to see that it's very thick and foamy. Very beautiful. And then to this glass, we are going to add, you can see that our coffee is mainly just down here, the rest of it is foam. So we are going to add a little bit more water to make this into our drink. Almost like an Americano, if you will. And then we are going to add some ice, because this is an iced drink. So we are adding ice. Now, here's the point where it can go several ways. You can add sweetener. You could add liquid sweetener, stevia or Splenda. And they also make sweetened stevia drops. This one is chocolate raspberry, so you could use something like that. You can also use, Torani makes sugar-free syrups that I quite enjoy, and they come in a variety of flavors. And that's what I'm going to be giving CJ tonight. And so I'm going to add my sweetener at this point. If you're going to be using some kind of granulated artificial sweetener, I would add that during the shaking process of our coffee. That way it gets nicely incorporated into the water. You don't want to just dump it in afterwards, because then it hasn't mixed. And if you're going to use sweetener, then the Greeks call that glycos, I think. Sorry for all the native Greeks out there. And if you don't sweeten it, it's called sketos. So if you ever need to order that when you're in Greece, that is how it is, either sweetened or unsweetened. So to that, I'm going to be adding some heavy cream. And you don't have to. If you prefer your coffee black, you can just stop right here. But traditionally, Greeks will add evaporated milk, but it's not very keto friendly, so we're going to be adding some heavy whipping cream. And you can just do that however creamy you like it. And you can see how beautiful it is with that thick layer of foam on top. It's almost like a root beer float. So there it is, shaken. And now I'm going to demonstrate for you the other alternative if you do happen to have a matcha tea or any kind of whisk aerator. I will show you how you can do it with that. So we are going to start the same way, only we're just going to put it directly into our glass. So we need the same 2 teaspoons of coffee. And we are going to put the same several tablespoons of cold purified water in the bottom. About like so, just like we did with the mason jar. But I'm going to take my aerator, and mine is just battery powered, and it looks almost like a little egg whisk at the bottom. And it just whisks. It's battery powered. So I'm going to stick it at first all the way to the bottom of my glass. And that's going to get all the espresso off the bottom of the glass to make sure that it's well combined. And then slowly we're going to just lift up ever so slightly, and you'll see that it's really starting to take on foam. So it's foaming up just like it did in the mason jar, but it is quite quick with this. And voila, we are done. So then we are just going to do the other steps like we did for the previous cup of coffee and add some more water. And then we are going to add some ice. And then I'm going to add a little bit of cream to mine as well. And I think I am going to add a few drops of chocolate raspberry sweet leaf. So that's all there is to it. It's nice and easy and cool, and of course ketogenic. So that's it. Hi, CJ.
There you go. Hi.
What are you drinking?
This is a cool and refreshing Greek Frappe.
Is it ketogenic?
Sure, that's what I've been told. Yes, it's ketogenic. I saw it being made and it's ketogenic.
And yours is decaf so that you can sleep tonight.
Yes, it's decaf and I really appreciate that. All right. Are we ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
It's good. It's cool and refreshing. And yeah, it tastes just like another drink that I will not name.
Is it sold here in the Pacific Northwest?
That costs a whole lot more than what it costs to make this. So that drink will go unnamed. But this Greek Frappe is delicious.
And it's a lot less expensive because you can make a whole bunch of them with that bottle of instant coffee.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
So, yep,
Okay.
I think it's a keeper, and I will have to make some of these myself.
It's easy.
Yep, it was.
Okay. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us again tonight. We hope that you enjoy the Greek Frappe and that you will share it with your friends and family and that it helps you get through the long, hot summer. We would very much like you to consider subscribing and coming back and joining us for more recipes. We also have keto conversations on Wednesdays, and we would like you to join us for those as well. So please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that we can see you next time on CJ's Keto Kitchen. Bye.
He's sweet. He's just a little scared.
Is it a boy or a girl?
A boy.
What's his name?
Fig.
Fig? Oh, that's cute. That's cute. Hi, Fig. You want to be on YouTube? You can. Okay, you'll be able to become a big star on YouTube now.